Hey everyone, Metagross Freak here with another speed paint video showing off the second Stevonnie piece I did. Um, I'm not really sure how popular these are, but I wanted to post a few of these speed paints. I'm not going to post all of them, but post some of the ones of the pieces I'm really proud of. Um, just, to try to get some of my artwork out there, advertising on YouTube, plus it's basically free video content that takes almost no effort for me to make. So I'm able to give you content that you'll enjoy, and it doesn't take me a lot of work at all to make the video. Because on this piece, I really wanted to do another Stevonnie. The first Stevonnie piece I did turned out to be pretty popular, but this one, I struggled a lot making the gem, as you can see. Like, I feel like half of this video is literally just going to be me working on this gem. I had a lot of trouble doing it. I ended up screwing up on it later, so I just kind of left it and went back to doing other stuff. Yeah, like always, I take a pose from Shantae from one of the games in the series, usually either Risky's Revenge, sorry, not Risky's Revenge, Pirate's Curse or Half Genie Hero, and I adapt the pose and some of the elements of the art style to my own art. So like, as you can see, I'm borrowing, say, I'm basically tracing the eyes, however the eyebrows, I'm changing I'm not using the same outfit, I'm basically just using the proportions for the body, and even then I don't end up using everything. Another difficult part for me was this armpit. This armpit right here was difficult because it was hard to figure out how to draw the shirt, since Stevonnie has very short sleeves. Steven's sleeves basically go almost to his elbow, but on Stevonnie, they're barely off of the shoulder. So as you can see here, I decided that having the full line of the bust for Stevonnie was kind of unnecessary. I just kind of wanted a little bit of that, I didn't want the full thing, and then I made a separate layer just for the hair, because I was like, if I do this in green, it's going to end up so messy, so I made it a light blue on a below layer, and I was able to get kind of the right shape I wanted. I'm actually really proud of how this piece comes out, so I'm looking forward to when you're able to see the full thing. In previous speed paints, I've actually done a faster speed for the replay, and I'm actually doing this one a little bit slower to get it to give it some more time to load. I want as much of it to load as possible. That way, you'll be able to see it as much as possible. I won't have to skip around near the end. So far I had a little bit of a hiccup at the beginning, but other than that, it hasn't been much of an issue. So yeah, Stevonnie, I guess talking about inspiration stuff, Stevonnie is one of my favorite characters in the show, and I love the fact that she's, smart and mature like Connie, but also a goofball, and very positive. Very positive like Steven. I also just love the way she looks, the way her body language. Stevonnie is a very well written character. Not to say that other Steven Universe characters aren't well written, but I love the way Stevonnie just is. As you can see, I'm taking my time with these lines, just kind of drawing at my own pace. And this piece took I'd say about an hour and a half to draw. So considering, it took an hour and a half to draw, color, and shade. So what you're seeing here is probably about 6 to 10 times the speed. And as you can see, I drew the gem. The gem was good, and what I should have done is leave the gem with this black outline, and I ended up messing it up because I realized when I was coloring it in that there aren't any black lines on Stevonnie's gem, and so I ended up trying to do it with various color lines, and it just looks kind of messy, and I don't like it. It was also when I started coloring it in that I realized it had multiple layers for the face. So I ended up, this is me lazily coloring in pants. So I actually ended up doing a separate layer just for parts of the face, and then I ended up making that my primary color layer. So I have 2 layers of color I had to swap between, and I'm actually a little disappointed that Stevonnie does not have colored, is it irises? Colored irises, because the eyes in the Shantae series are really expressive, so I was a little disappointed I couldn't get more of that in. And for the mouth, I didn't want to have to track down a picture of a picture of Stevonnie with her mouth open, so because I didn't to get the colors, so I just copied the same colors that Shantae has for her open mouth, which I figure I'm basically stealing most of the face anyway, except for the nose, so what's the worst that's gonna happen if I borrow the mouth? Yeah. I also didn't realize when I think I may have realized this when I did the first Stevonnie piece, and maybe just forgotten it, but I didn't realize how purple Stevonnie's hair is. I always thought it was just a very dark brown with like a hint of reddish, because to my memory, Connie's hair is like black, and I believe Steven's hair is just very dark brown, like darker brown than Greg's. It could be that when Steven fuses, some more of his rose quartziness comes out, and maybe that's why Steven has the purplish hair. Though, to think of it, Smoky Quartz, I believe, has black hair, so that maybe doesn't make as much sense as I originally imagined, considering Amethyst has light purple, while Steven has that almost black hair. I don't know, so maybe Connie's hair has a bit of purple in it, and I'm just not recognizing that. That being said, I love the outfit Stevonnie is wearing in this drawing. Obviously, it's the same outfit from Mindful Education, which is essentially Stevonnie's sword fighting outfit, but rather than being baggy, kind of like baggy and loose on Connie, it's more like an athletic jumpsuit on. It fits like a jumpsuit on Stevonnie, because of the combination of Steven and Connie's builds. Interestingly, we don't see any of Steven's pants in this. This version of Stevonnie. It could just be that the pants are tight enough that bagginess of Steven's jeans. I mean, the bagginess of his jeans are, or his jeans are tight enough that the bagginess of Connie's pants goes over them. I don't know. As we can already see from both this version of Stevonnie and Smoky Quartz, the other gem's outfit goes basically over Steven's. So that's a possibility. And I don't know if you saw, but the gem doesn't really look as good as I want it to. Oh, so talk about shading right now. So my strategy for shading, as you can probably see, is to make a separate layer above the layers of color, and then turn the layers of color off, so you basically just have the outline. And my strategy for this is to basically just fill in shading in black, and then I will make that layer lighter shades of black, or until I am comfortable with how light it is. I guess it's kind of the best way of saying it. But yeah, just the way that gem looks, I'm not happy with it. I probably should have just left it with a black outline and colored it in using the right colors, but it was a sacrifice I was willing to make, considering I loved the way the rest of it came out. Well, the shading on this piece was really weird, because Shantae's pose basically gives her weird shading on her hips and her hips and her ear, and so I had to kind of it's shading on, as well as basically giving her entire right arm, as you can see, shading. So I had to figure out as I went along, kind of just basically how much shading I was going to give him. It basically ended up being that I ended up basically like blacking out almost like the entire, not the entire, but like about half of the drawing. So I'm really glad that I was able to dim this layer and turn it into like a semi-transparent layer. And shading, I kind of almost wish that I could just avoid doing shading and just have flat colors. But that is something I'm trying to work on, actually, is I actually prefer flat colors, and I'm not really great at shading, so I kind of try to force myself to shade, because if I get better at shading, then it won't be as tedious and annoying for me. But yeah, it's kind of just the part of drawing I like the least, which is why I kind of also do shading like this to make it easier and to make it more, not necessarily more easy, but more enjoyable, because I basically just black out parts and then fill in or make the shading transparent. Yeah, a ton of Shantae in this particular pose has shadow on it, so there's just so much shading going on. I kind of like her other poses where she's not basically just drowning in shadows, but as you can see, there we go. Oh, I apparently left the shine spots on the top of her shirt. I'll have to actually edit that out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Metagross Freak, and have a great one. Bye.